We'll start the class. So we have seen about in the last class, like graph analytics we have seen. What are the basic centrality measures with respect to graph, and then how it can be converted into a network centrality measures. So we have seen about like closeness centrality, degree centrality, betweenness centrality, and then eigenvector centrality. These are all very important graph metrics that you have to look upon if you are learning about social network analysis. Okay, so the next application, this is one of the application, okay, where you can apply the concept of social network analysis. Okay, so the application is nothing but co-citation and bibliographic coupling. Okay, so co-citation, what is co-citation? Okay, so I have some research document. I think if you're looking into some research document, if you look into the last page of the research article, okay, you can see a last column as references. References is nothing but what are all the prior work which have been referred for that particular research article, so that we are going to acknowledge those prior works, okay, in the references. For example, first reference, second reference, third reference. Okay, just to show you some research article, just give. I think a few students may not have that idea of what is a research article. Right, I'll just randomly open some papers. Publications. Okay. Okay. So, this is a form of research article which I have published. Okay, this is a sample research article which I have published. Okay, so when I was being a research scholar, I have been published some work. Okay, so this is a research article. So this is the title of the research article, and this is the name of the authors who have written the research article. Okay, so when we look into these, we have introduction, we will have literature study, we have related work, and then some architecture diagram we do have, and then proposed work, research. Okay, the main part is will come over here. If you look into the last section of any research article, there will be a section called as references, which means for writing this research article, as a research scholar, I have used these papers. I have referring these papers. I will refer this paper in the beginning of the section. For example, if I look into here like one, if I search for the paper will be referred in the the paper will be referred over here. You see here. See here, in the introduction section, I have referred this particular research article. Okay, so if we look into there in the references section, I'm having this. See, I have referred this particular author who have already published the paper. So this is called as citation. So I'm referring this paper. I'm citing this paper, which means for my research study, I have used this particular research article by these authors, Sakaki and Okazaki, okay, who have already done the research. In the same way, I'm referring to many research people. Okay, so this is called as citation. Okay, I will just close it over here. Let me go back to our original the topic for today. Okay, where is it is? Wait, I lost it. Wait. I will share it again. Okay, so what is this co-citation and bibliography? So that is the thing we are going to see for today's class. Okay, so if I have a cited document, this is my research article, which I'm going to consider. This is the article. Okay, article I'm going to read here. Okay, So now what is bibliographic coupling and what is co-citation? Okay, so there is one group of, there is a research article A and there is another research article B which is written by A and B. These two authors, two research authors, A and B are bibliographically they are coupled because both these authors, okay, are citing a particular article that is called as bibliographic coupling. Bibliographic coupling is nothing but the authors I'm going to refer here. Okay, so what is co-citation? Okay, what is co-citation? So if there exists a research article which is cited by this both authors A and B, that is called as co-citing coupling, co-citation coupling. Okay, so there is two different authors. These authors are being referred in this document that is called as bibliographic coupling, which means these two authors have written similar type of research article. They are similar, they have the similarity of same research article. Okay, so this is also regarding chemistry. They have written about the covalent band. Covalent band. So this is the research article about. This is also about chemistry and this is also about covalent band. So these two authors are bibliographically coupled because these two authors' paper are being cited in this particular document. Okay, that is called as Bible, which means that these two authors are being having some similar publication and they have prior work which have been having some sharing some common ideas. That is called as bibliographic coupling. Co-citation. See, when we compare this bibliographic coupling and co-citation coupling, okay. So the number of outlinks this particular authors, you consider this author as a hub and this author as another hub. The number of outlinks, the maximum number of outlinks a particular author do have, okay, will have the highest hub score. In other words, that we have seen in the Hicks algorithm. Coming back to this co-citation, the number of inlinks. I have some several citation document 2, citation document 3, citation document 4. Okay, this document is also citing this author. This document is also citing this author. This document is citing this author, which means that which author has the maximum citation? You just see the in degree, incoming links. This have 3, this have 2, which means that this author have the highest co-citation. Okay, which means that among all these documents, there is a common co-citation for this particular author. Okay, so there is a difference between bibliographic coupling and co-citation. In other words, you just see what is the total number of outlinks from the author towards the same document. Do you understand? I have another document also. This is also citing to the same, which has been cited in the same article, which means these three authors are bibliographically coupled. Okay, co-citation, which means you see the incoming links to the authors. Here, outgoing links from the author, incoming links to the author in this side will lead you to understand what is a co-citation. Okay, so I think I mentioned you here in bibliographic coupling, you just look into the outlinks. Okay, so paper A and paper B, okay, or bibliographic coupled. That means the authors of those papers are bibliographically coupled, which means that the authors have some similar number of research content and even the authors might be the same. For example, I have John is the first author, okay, and then Tina is another author. Just for an example, I'm saying John is the same author here. Okay, he's been working with George. Okay, so I can say that paper A, whose authors, and paper B, whose authors are bibliographically coupled because they have cited the similar papers C, D, and E in their reference list. Okay, these papers are being cited by both these paper authors. Okay, which has been cited. That is called as bibliographic coupling. What is co-citation coupling? Okay, paper A and the authors who have written the paper A and B, okay, they are being co-cited by papers C, D, and E. Okay, they are in these papers are in the reference list of the C, D, and E, which means the incoming link have been associated to the particular author and its paper. Okay, you see here outgoing links will be associated with the authors and its paper. That is called as bibliographic coupling and co-citation coupling. Okay, so now how to mathematically we can model this particular application. Okay, so if the paper I, okay, consider a paper I and paper J. Okay, both these paper are cited by the paper K. Okay, so in this case, how they are being related with each other, how the co-citation coupling can be identified. Okay, so the condition is, as far the more number of papers they are being cited by, the more their relationship is. Okay, I and J cited K. If there is some other papers also, okay, there is another paper. This is also IJKL. Okay, L. This is also citing this particular paper. Okay, so how to mathematically model this particular scenario? So the mathematical model is to find out the co-citation score, assuming that the paper I and paper J are co-cited by the paper K. Okay, so if the paper I cites paper J, now what we are going to do is IJ we have seen, JK we have seen. Am I right? I is cited by K and I is cited by J is cited by K. Now, what is co-citation coupling? We are going to check whether these two papers are also having some similarity. Okay, which means that if paper I cites paper J, then we will give the value as 1 for that particular citation matrix. Okay, so let me give you over here. I have I, J, K, I, J, K. Okay, same paper can be or cannot be cited. The self citation is also allowed. Anyhow, here we are not allowing here. Okay, so I and J is getting cited. IK is getting cited. Okay, JI. Okay, JI is going to get since it is a directed matrix. Okay, so we are going to put it as 0. Okay, J and K. Okay, 0. K and I we have 1. K and J we have 1. So this is how you have to represent a citation matrix, given that if a paper I cites the paper J, we have to give the value 1, otherwise we have to give the value 0. Okay, so the overall citation score Cij is going to be the summation of all the similarity measure which gives the total number of pages that co-cite I and J. Okay, so I and J are the two papers. Now we are going to check how many other papers are citing the same I and J in their papers. Okay, that is called as co-citation. That score is going to get computed as LKI and LKJ. So K is going to be the paper which is going to be the paper of interest for our problem statement. How many papers are citing that? This K. Okay, so I and K. Okay, so Ki, we are going to give it as Ki because the direction is going from inwards towards this I. So Ki and Kj. So how many other different possibility of citation is going to be? If there is some other paper like this, IJKL, MN is there, MN, this is also assumed to be another set of paper which is citing the same paper K. So in the first round, these two papers will be considered. In the next two rounds, these two papers will be considered, and this will continue till the n number of papers which are citing this particular K. Okay, so this is how your co-citation coupling can be mathematically modeled. The next interesting part is bibliographic coupling. It is out the same as that of co-citation, but instead of incoming links, there will be outgoing links will be there. Okay, so now we'll make ij in this left and right. Now we'll make it as right and left it over here. Anyhow, I is going to cite k, okay, and then j is going to cite it. Okay, so now bibliographic coupling is going to link papers that cites the same article. Okay, so if paper I and J both cite the paper K, they may be related. See, I and J both are citing towards this K. I, J, K, L, M. Many papers are citing towards that. Now we are going to see how bibliographic coupling can be mathematically modeled. Okay, this is also going to have the same kind of formula. Okay, but instead of here, if you look into there, Ki, LKI, KJ was the formula because there was a link that do exist from K to I and K to J. Am I right? Because that is the way the citation is happening. This paper has been cited by I and J. When we look into this bibliographic coupling, instead of K to I, this is going to be I to K, J to K. Other than that, all other representation of this coupling is going to be the same. Okay, so in the bibliographic coupling, the links will be off in the outgoing. Okay, see here it will be incoming towards I and J. Here it is incoming towards K. Okay, so that is the difference, and the matrix can be formed using this bibliographic coupling formula. Bij is equal to summation over Lik into Ljk. So this is how your bibliographic coupling can be done symmetrically. Okay, so we will go into another interesting topic that is called as Hicks algorithm. Okay, the students who are attending lab class with me, possibly they might have already taken this class, Hicks algorithm, which I have given there. So hypertext induced topic search. So this bibliographic coupling co-citation is one of the application of the social network analysis. And then the next topic is Hicks algorithm. The same Hicks algorithm can be applied over this bibliographic coupling also. Okay. Which is the hub here? Which is the authority here? This is what we have seen in the Hicks algorithm. The node which gets the maximum number of outlinks, that is going to called as a hub. The authority which gets the maximum number of incoming links from the best hub is called as the best authority. Okay, so this is what we have seen. We will see it as authorities and hubs. So authorities is going to be like authorities maximum number of incoming links in degree. Hub, good hub is maximum number of out degree. Okay. So now how to compute this? We have a special algorithm called as Hicks algorithm. Okay, hypertext induced topic search algorithm. Okay, so what is this Hicks algorithm? We have a two basic rule: authority update rule and hub update rule. What is authority update rule? You are going to periodically iterate the total score of the authority, every authority, based upon the hub score. You will cumulatively add up all the hub score and you will update it for the authority. That is called as authority update rule. For the hub authority rule, you will do the vice versa of it. You will sum up all the authority scores to update the authority value, score. You will sum up all the hub scores. For updating the hub score, you will add up all the authority score and you will normalize it. This is the basic rule of a Hicks algorithm. So what we will do, you will initialize all the authority score and the hub score as 1. You will update you will run this rules authority update and hub update, and you will repeat it k number of times. Okay, so at the end of the HITS algorithm, your authority score and hub score will not have some limit. It will be increasing, and there is no threshold or no saturation point for the HITS algorithms for this authority and hub score. So what you will do is you will normalize the value for this. How to normalize it? You have to, if I'm getting an authority score like 1, 2, 2, 5 means you will update it as 1 divided by, you will find the square root of 1 square plus 2 square plus 2 square plus 5 square. Okay, you divide it by this answer and you are getting some answer for this, right? Divided by 1 divided by square root of this answer, comma, 2 divided by square root of answer, comma, 2 divided by square root of answer, comma, 5 divided by square root of answer. So this is how you will update the, you will normalize your values. So the normalization consists of dividing the authority score or hub score by the sum of the squares of all the authority scores and hub scores. Okay, so we'll see a small problem so that you can understand this. We will straightly go into the problem. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this is going to be like an adjacency matrix. Okay, an adjacency matrix will be given to you. Okay, I'll straightly go into solving this problem so that you can understand. Very simple only. Okay, you have to identify the best hub and best authority for the given adjacency matrix. You have to calculate the hub score and authority score for k is equal to 3. For 3 iterations, you can do that. Okay. So this is the adjacency matrix. Using this adjacency matrix, you convert it into a, you first label it. The step 1 is label the nodes, label the vertices. So I'm giving 4 by 4. So obviously 4 nodes are being available. So 4 labels I'm giving for my nodes. Okay, so you make it as this adjacency matrix and convert your adjacency matrix into a graph. Okay, if there exists some self loops, N4, you see there is a 1. So it is actually a self loop. Even then, you consider the self loop also in the hub, one authority. Okay, the next process is, the second step is you have to rank and you have to list out the in degree and out degree of each node. For N1, how many in degrees are there? Only 1 in degree is there. So it is 1. Okay. What is the out degree for N1? Okay. We are going to see hub and authority. Okay. Hub means, hub means out degree. Authority means in degree. Okay. Well, how many out degree is there? 1, 2, 3 for N1. So 3. Okay, for N2, what is the out degree? Only 1, 1, 2. 2 is there. 2 is there. So 2. So in the same way, you just note it for all the nodes. Now, what you are going to do? You are going to rank the nodes according to the hub score and authority score. Okay, now I'm going to rank it. This is the third step. Okay, so you just see the node N1 has highest hub score 4, 2, 2, 1. You just rearrange it. Anyhow, it is already available in the same rank position is already sorted since we got the answer like that. Anyhow, if you don't get such sorted out degree and in degree in order, you rearrange it. Okay, rearrange it. And then you just give the rank for the hubs and authorities. So, so for hub, start from the increasing out degree, N1, 3, 2, 2. So if 2 nodes have the same out degree, you have to give it as tie. Okay, and then N4. So this has been ranked. This is called as ranking. Okay, you're going to rank it. Okay, and then authority, which has the highest in degree, N4, N3, and then this 2 have tie. Okay, N2 and N1 has tie. So you just write it as tie over here. So this is how you have to do that. So this is very basic way of identifying a hub and authority. So which is the best hub? Which is the best hub? The hub has the highest out degree is the best hub. So N1. Which is the best authority? the node which has the highest in degree has the is the best authority page. Okay, so what is the result N4? So we are not going to stop here. We are going to still normalize it. We are going to normalize it. So how to calculate the normalized value? Okay, for that we have to do a small matrix operation. Okay, you take the matrix A. This is going to our initial adjacency matrix A. Perform A transpose. Transform this adjacency matrix, you find the A transpose. So how to do this authority update and hub update rule. Okay. So I'm going to find a new authority weight vector. How I can find out? U is for hub, V is for authority. Just have it in mind. Okay. So V is equal to A transform into U. The initial hub score value is 1111. So this is what our algorithm is actually. If you look into this algorithm, initialize all the weights to 1. So hub and authority scores are initially 1. So we are going to give it as multiplied by A transpose into U. So this is going to be your new authority. Okay, new authority. The next thing is you have to update the hub score also. So how to do that? You don't do A transpose into U. Instead, you do A into V. Okay, so this is how this particular hit algorithm will work. So for updating the authority, you have to take the transpose of the adjacency matrix and multiply by the hub score. See, this is actually hub score. You're updating the authority by multiplying it with the hub score value. Updated authority weight. Okay, the next thing is you have to update the hub weight. How to do that? You multiply it with the, what is V? V is authority weight. From where you will get V? You go to the previous step. This V is going to be used over here. So this V which we got in the previous step is going to be used. So this is the new hub score. Okay. Then next thing, you just give assign the values for the first iteration. What is the value of hub score and authority score? So how to do that? We have 1124. So I just write it over here, 1124. And what is the previous step? 7654. 7654. 7654. So this is going to be for authority and this is going to be for hub. So 17, you write it here. 16, you write it here. Okay. 25, you write it here. This is the score for every node. 44, you write it here. This is for first iteration. And the next step is, okay, you are going to perform the new authority scores by normalizing it, because we are having these values which have been unbounded. It doesn't have any boundary. Okay, 7, 1, it will keep on increasing. 7, 1, 10, 20, 30, 40. You're not going to normalize it now in this first step. So how to normalize it? You do the square of sum and divide it by square root of those values. Okay, so what I do have 1, 1, 2, 4 I had. So 1 square plus 1 square plus 2 square plus 4 square, I got 22, square root of this value. So 1 divided by square root of 22, 1 divided by square root of 22, 2 divided by square root of 22, and 4 divided by square root of 22. So I'll get the new normalized value. This is called as normalized value. Okay, the same way you do it for U also. I have 7, 6, 5, 4. You do the sum of the squares and divide by square root of sum of squares. Okay, I'm getting a new hub value. This is for first iteration. And in the same way, you have to do it. Okay, do it for the second iteration also. So how you will do that? You will get the value of V is equal to A transpose multiplied by U. This is going to be for authority, and U is equal to A multiplied by V. This V is nothing but the previous V value. And once again, you have to give the normalization of the values. How to do that? If you get the value A, B, C, D, you find A square plus B square plus C square plus D square. So the each value divided by this value and you will get the normalized value. Okay. So when we are keep on doing this for several iterations, we will get the hub score and authority scores. We will get on each step. Okay. For k is equal to 2, we will get the values. Okay, and again, once we are doing this normalization, normalized score value, we will get this U1 and V1 and U2 and V2. And for the second iteration, this is going to be the result. I'm just skipping those because the same process is going to get repeated. Okay, and this is for k is equal to 2. According to our question, what we have to do for k is equal to 3, we have to do. Okay, so once again, once you're doing this, you just rank the values from highest to lowest, highest to lowest. So obviously, once again, N4 is the best. So N1 is the best and N4 is the best authority. For k is equal to 3, once again, if we do that, once again, we are getting the same result. Anyhow, the value will be slightly different. The value will not be the same, but there will be slight change in the values. And at one stage, these values will remain unchanged. If, for example, if I go to k is equal to 4, k is equal to 5, I will get the hub score and authority scores which are being converged. Converged in the sense there is no further updation in the score can be attained. Okay, so that is what our hub score and authority score is. I'll just here.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, the ranking of the nodes would still depend upon the number of outlinks and endlinks, no?
Yeah, sure. There is no different. There is no change in that. But the thing is, you are updating the value of the hub and authority, right?
Yes.
Okay. So see, if we are looking into this with the 5 or 6 nodes, it is easy for you to calculate it. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
But when it comes to 100 or 200 nodes, okay, so we need several iterations to precisely identify which is the node, which is the best hub, which is the best authority. It will be difficult when the scalability of a number of nodes are going to get increased. Okay, so at that situations, you can go for this hub score and authority score. You can apply this Fitts algorithm for this co-citation and bibliographic coupling also. Okay. So dear students, I think what is the time now? It is 10:28 at 9:50. Up to 10:35 we have the class, right? 10:45. Okay, so I will continue with this next topic, page ranking algorithm. I just want to know is there any students in this class who are not attending my lab because I have taken this page ranking algorithm also in the lab? Can you raise your hands, those who are not attending lab class with me? Okay, so nearly 27 students are actually, I want to know whether these students who raise their hands are not with my lab, right? You're with some other faculty. See, just to know that how detailed I have to go with the topic. That's what I am asking. Because if you have already seen this topic in the lab also, so the students who have raised their hands are not with me in lab, right? Okay, fine. I got it. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you, students. So let me start it once again. This page ranking algorithm we will have. Okay, wait a minute. I'll take the PPT. Fitts algorithm over page ranking algorithm. Okay. How many minutes more for our class?
10 minutes, ma'am.
10 minutes is there. I will give you the introduction of this page ranking algorithm. This is another interesting algorithm. I will share you some tutorial links for this ranking algorithm and hits. Even I have shared with the students for the lab. Even that will be very interesting. Okay. So dear students, meanwhile, I just want to give me a small reminder on your digital assignments. Okay, I think digital assignment 1 almost 90% of the class have submitted. I have only few students are yet to submit digital assignment 1. So make the submission as soon as possible. And this digital assignment 2, I have given some 3 or 4 questions I have given, I think. I have posted it in the MS Teams. I think we are not following with this LMS Moodle. In MS Teams, I have given you the assignment and assignment link will be there. Kindly submit it before CAT 2. Okay. I could see some students are very promptly they are submitting and their submissions are really appreciable. Okay. On the other end, even some students haven't opened and seen the digital assignments. 1. Okay, so there is one pathetic situation and another appreciable situation is there in this class. Anyhow, I could find you are all busy with all the classes. I can feel your pressures. Okay, so kindly make the submissions. Okay, before CAT 2. Okay. So now, dear students, will go into another interesting link analysis algorithm called as page ranking algorithm. Okay. So given some web resource, okay, many web pages will be available. Am I right? Web pages in the sense web links. Okay, in other words, I can say URLs will be available from one page like D. This page will have a hyperlink which will lead to visiting this page A. Okay, and then I may have another link from D which will link to B. Okay, from this page I can jump to this page. Like this I can jump to several pages towards one page. Okay, it doesn't mean the page which has the highest in degree. What is the in degree of this B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in degree is there. Okay. You see, this C is having only 1 in degree. Okay. You see, E is having how many in degrees? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in degrees are there. Okay. Now, if we are looking into the quantity wise, in degree quantity, obviously after B, E should obviously get the next rank, right? Am I right? Because this is after this, this is having 6 degrees, but C is having only 1 degree. Am I right? But still, this page is getting the next rank. This is in the rank 1. This is rank 2. This is going to rank 3. If you're looking into the percentage based on that, I'm just telling you. Okay. So, what is this page ranking algorithm? Page ranking algorithm means how many websites, how many popular websites or web pages are directing towards a web page. Okay, I'm getting an incoming link from several web pages. Am I right? Several web pages are referring this particular page B, but how many popular web pages are referring to this B is very important, which means in other words, I can say quantity of referring to a page. This is getting 7, this is getting 2, this is getting 6. Okay, the quantity alone should not be taken into consideration. Instead, whether the page which is referring, okay, the page from which I'm getting an incoming link, whether these pages are having a popularity or not. How to get know the popularity of it? See how many incoming links and outgoing links ratio these pages do have. Okay, that is called as page ranking algorithm. So I'm getting several incoming links. Many pages are being directed to me. Okay, I can say the page is popular only if I'm getting a link from another popular web page. That is called as quality of the link that emerges from one web page to another page. That is also important. So see from this page, okay, from this page, I can connect to several web pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Many pages are getting connected because of this E. So E is obviously a popular web page which is connected towards B. And B is very popular because it is getting connected with many popular web pages which have been getting as an incoming link. That is called as page rank. This is how you have to rank the page. Okay. For example, I will give you another example. Even in the last class I have told you. Okay. I have a node B. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So total links are being 6. If I have another page A, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. From this 5, I will get to know to some other web page. Okay, from this node, I can go to some other web page which are connecting this A. Okay, I have this type of links. Okay, if you look into over here, this is having 6, but this is having only 5 direct connections. But see, these connections are leading to some other more web pages which are being connected and associated with a high density. Okay, so this is the first level of hub. In the second level, I have this people. In this level, I have this people, and in the third level, I have people. But if you look into this, even though B has 6, which is more than A, it doesn't lead to any other popular web pages. From this page, is there any outlink is there? No, no link is there. But see in this page, I have some other outlinks which have been emerging from here, so that the maximum reachability and coverage of more other web pages can be attained. So the page rank of A is higher than the page rank of B. So this is what I'm saying. Don't look into the quantity of connections, look into the quality of connections. Okay, so if you are in LinkedIn, okay, if you are in LinkedIn, if you have some 1,000 connections, okay, you have been friends with 1,000 professional people in the page, and through those people, how many people you can extend your connection. So 1,000 is not only the quantity, how many quality connections you are actually getting. In case if you want to arrange for some internship, if you want to get some placement opportunity, if you're looking for some startups, out of these 100 connections, how many people will actually give some positive response for your request or for your proposals? Okay, that is called as quality. Okay, so this page ranking algorithm will be a form of link analysis algorithm. This same page ranking algorithm is working with the concept of Google search engine. Google search engine is making use of this page ranking algorithm. Okay, so we'll tell you how the page ranking algorithm will work. Okay, so this has been put up by Larry Page, who is the founder of Google. Okay, so this is very, very important because when we are looking for some search keyword, okay, the top 10 pages or top 20 pages are very, very, very important, because the users will go to some other search engine, they will go for some other resources to fetch some most relevant data if your search result is not convincing for them. Okay, so that is how Google got the attraction. They are ranking the top 10 or 20 or top 100 web pages, in which within the top 20 to 50 web pages, your entire search will get neutralized. That means the thing that you're looking for is is available for you in the top 10 search results. Okay, so that is how they are ranking the web pages, because they have already indexed all the web pages which is required. We do have to realize one thing. If you're searching for some thing in Google, it doesn't mean Google is searching at that particular time and it is giving back to you. It doesn't act like that. Actually, they will already indexed all the pages which have been most frequently and based upon the relevance of the search done by the previous users and the number of times the users visited that link when they're searching for a content. Okay, and they will get the feedback from the users that whether this web page is relevant for your search. Like that, based on some crowdsourcing sourced data, they will page their they will rank the web pages and they will reshuffle it accordingly, reorder it accordingly based on the previous history of search and relevance. Okay, so this is what page ranking algorithm is. So we have some once again, we have some tasks to be done like calculation. So this part we will continue in our next class. Okay. So with this, I will wind up, dear students. You can type in your register number and you can leave the class. Okay. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can stay here and you can get clarified with your doubts and you can move.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I am a little confused about the thing related to bibliographic coupling and co-citation, like that outgoing and incoming links. That concept I understood, but like in terms of statement, is it the case like the authors are referring to the same document, then they are a bibliographic couple to each other? And
Yes. The same author, same set of authors are referring to one same document means then those two authors are bibliographically coupled.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is what you have understood is correct only.
Okay, and in co-citation, in one document only their names are listed. So
Yes. If two
that
different authors' name are available in the same paper, then that paper is co-citing these two authors. So co-citation reference will be happening. Their research article have been cited in the same author. Okay, so there the exists co-citation.
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.